Dear viewers, I'm Rinki Gogoi and you're watching Nltv News now. Let's begin with the headlines. Naga People's Front President Shurozile Lejitse in recent conversation with Nltv stated NPF has decided Tenucho Tunye as their candidate for the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections. Manipur caretaker Chief Minister Nltv Singh and senior BJP MLA TH Biswajit Singh, who were seen as contenders for CM's post after BJP's return to power, left for Delhi in separate flights to meet central leaders. Indian MBBS student from Chinese university seeking recognition of physical training in India has staged protest outside Kerala's secretariat. Ministry of Commerce and Industry says India is in final talks to start wheat exports to Egypt, while discussions are still ongoing with countries like Turkey, China, Bosnia, Sudan, Nigeria, Iran and others to start wheat export. Let's see the news in details. The Naga People's Front is mulling to field party working president Tenucho Tunye as its candidate in the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections. Notably, the president of the Naga People's Front, Dr. Shurozile Lejitse, said that NPF has decided to set up their candidate because their alliance party NDPP and BJP, without taking NPF MLAs in consideration, went to Delhi and decided to set up a BJP candidate to represent the lone upper house seat in the ensuing Rajya Sabha elections on March 31. While talking to Nltv on Sunday morning, Lejitse said that the party has been waiting for their legislatures to nominate a candidate, but upon not receiving any response, the party decided to field Tenucho Tunye. President Shurozile Lejitse wrote to the leader of their legislature party, Dr. Zeliang, requesting him to take up the matter and entrust the required number of MLAs to sign the nomination paper of the party candidate. However, no response received yet.
Well, as a political party, it is more or less an obligation for us to set up a candidate. And so, accordingly, we have planned to set up a candidate. But our MLAs are now working together with their colleagues under this opposition-led government. We have given our endorsement, and we were of the opinion that working together, they would coordinate better in other spheres of activities also. But this time, I think, without taking our MLAs into consideration, the other two groups had gone to Delhi, and they have committed to stand for BJP candidate. We have no objection. As a political party, when we set up candidate, when they set up candidate, I think there's nothing wrong. Rather, it is an obligation. And so we have decided to set up our candidate. We have prepared everything, but our nominee is yet to file his nomination. Well, as a political party, it is more or less an obligation for us to set up a candidate. And so
The advisor to the Chief Minister and Assistant Vice President of Athletics Federation of India, Abu Mehta, visited venues of the South Asian Cross-Country Championships on Saturday. Notably, the championships will be hosted by India at Kohima, Nagaland. It may be mentioned that the DGP of Nagaland, John Longcomer, senior officers of police and sports department, members of the organizing committee and Naga Athletics also accompanied Mehta to inspect the venues. Meanwhile, Mehta took down to Twitter to appreciate Nagaland police for being such a valuable asset and delivering their services with dedication. Nagaland ministers on Saturday congratulated young Seo Sangtam on being elected as the debut Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Chief Minister Nipurio took down to Twitter and stated that he is happy to have young leaders take important role in the government. Deputy Speaker Y. Patton wished Sangtam the best as he steps into the pivotal role. Furthermore, advisor of the Power Department H. Tovihoto Ayemi tweeted that Sangtam's commitment and hard work have bestowed him to the position. Meanwhile, the Minister of Higher Education and Tribal Affairs Temjin Imna Along also wished Sangtam best of energy and enthusiasm on his new role. The Tuensang District Task Force on COVID-19 handed over an ambulance to the Chief Medical Officer, Tuensang. Notably, the ambulance was purchased under LADP Common Pool 2021 to 2022. It is worth mentioning that the Tuensang District Task Force has purchased the ambulance. In a press release, Woka District Football Association President Y. Zubin has informed that there will be an open selection trials for the upcoming inter-district Dr. T. Ao football tournament. Trials will take place from April 1 and 2, and therefore WADFA President informed all the interested players to report at local ground at 12 noon and registrations will be done at the venue. For more information on the tournament, the interested players can contact President at 961-253-7227 and Technical Director at 961-2596-707 and 9863653910. 14 new cases of COVID-19 were detected and 1 COVID-19 death has been reported in Nagaland according to the Nagaland's weekly COVID-19 summary between 12 to 18 March. Notably, 2,652 samples were tested and a weekly sample positivity rate of 0.5% was reported. The sample positivity rate has now remained below 5% for the past 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the total deaths in the Omicron wave increased to 37. It may be mentioned that the patient was an elderly and had comorbidities. Remarkably, more than 15.69 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered across all age groups, including 23,953 precautionary or third doses. It was also informed that an elderly above 60 years of age can now take the third dose if 9 months have passed after the second dose. Moreover, COVID-19 vaccination in children above 12 years of age have also now started with the Corbevax vaccine. Notably, due to increase in the cases of COVID-19 across Southeast Asia, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India has written to all the states for increased surveillance, testing and scale-up of COVID-19 vaccination. V-Movie Institute of Fashion Designing, Cutting and Tailoring organized annual fashion show event on March 19. National People's Party President Dr. Andrew Ahoto Sema graced the event as a special guest. Notably, the main aim of the event was to provide platform to the students of the institute to showcase their creativity and talent. Meanwhile, competition was held among 3 groups and Poised Mode Group won the Best Creativity Award, while Buzz Mode Group was awarded the Best Garment Production title. Furthermore, prominent artists of Nagaland, Jano Nika, NK Naga and ZT Slingshot entertained the audience with their performances.
The designer, especially Asa V-Movie, who is personally known to me also in many aspects, and I did agree to say yes when he called me because I love to see youngsters, especially the youths, doing very well. And I'm happy that so many of you Douglas gatherings out here, the judges out here, and all those young entrepreneurs here I could see behind all over, and probably it's dark so I could not recognize you by face one-to-one. And I was late also, in fact, because I was told to come a bit late. And by the time we came, you know, the highway is transformed a lot because of the road widening. We took the wrong U-turn a bit far ahead. Then after the turn, then another 5-10 minutes we were stuck in the traffic jam. But ultimately we are here. I would like to tell the youngsters over here, those who are here, you can imagine that today's gathering out here, how did it just spark off?
Institute of Fashion Design, Cutting and Tailoring, Dimapur. Thank you for your presence. It truly means a lot. I feel so privileged and proud to be standing here to share a few thoughts, the emotional feelings and joy. Witnessing this moment cannot be compared to any. Looking down the memory lane of struggles and challenges I have faced.
Manipur caretaker Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and senior BJP MLA T.H. Biswajit Singh, who were seen as contenders for the CM's post after the Saffron Party returned to power for the second time in a row on Saturday, left for Delhi in separate flights to meet the central leaders. The 2 leaders left for the national capital after being summoned by the party top brass, and who will be the chief minister this time is likely to be known by Sunday. After the election results were announced, BJP leader Biren Singh, T.H. Biswajit and BJP state president A. Sharda Devi had gone to Delhi on March, but chief minister post was not declared. Hence, Biren Singh and Biswajit has gone to Delhi, and the result for the CM post is likely to be revealed on Sunday.
My democratic right to elect myself from this constituency, and I am expecting 75% of my constituency, my people will vote for BJP and for me.
So do you think that this is the first phase elections very competent for both you? So a lot of
first phase election we are having 38 seats.
Yeah.
And Bharatiya Janata Party is expecting out of 38 seats we are expecting at least 30 seats in the first phase. Because it is the area which is holding the vote today is the old favorable to the Bharatiya Janata Party, and peoples of Manipur like Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he got 75% support for him in the street. Heavyweight, as I have told you, out of this 38 seats, BJP is getting 30 seats.
In a major jolt to the militants active in the TCL region, the Lekhapani Battalion of Indian Army, along with the Arunachal Police, busted a major hideout camp of the suspected NSCN-KYA on Saturday in Namdapha National Park. An hour foot march distance from 22 miles of Miao Vijayanagar Road of Arunachal Pradesh. Based on a specific input, a 3-day joint operation was launched in Namdapha National Park. However, on the sensing of approach of security forces, the cadres of the suspected NSCN-KYA outfit managed to flee under the cover of the thick forest and ferocious terrain. However, they left behind an AK-56 rifle with a magazine, 46 rounds of ammunition, 800 grams of explosives and IED materials with cordex and detonators, Myanmar currency and various other contrabands. An approximate 1 quintal of locally grown rice was also recovered. As per information garnered by the security forces from different sources, the camp at 22-mile area was sheltering an approximate 30 to 40 cadres for training and administrative setup. The cadres in the camp were said to be hindering the free movement of the locals and were creating a nuisance for the common populace by using them for carrying out extortion and was disrupting peace in the Changlang district of Arunachal Pradesh. Aam Aadmi Party National Convener Arvind Kejriwal held a meeting with his party MLAs from Punjab on Sunday. The meeting was held in Mohali and Kejriwal joined the meeting via video conferencing from Delhi. Notably, Bhagwant Mann took oath as the Chief Minister on March 16, while 10 AAP MLAs, including a woman, were inducted in cabinet on Saturday. Several Indian students pursuing MBBS in the Chinese universities staged a protest outside the Kerala Secretariat on Saturday. The protesters sought recognition of physical training in India. Notably, the students were forced to return to India after COVID pandemic broke out in 2020, upon which they continued their online classes and physical training at government and private hospitals in the state. Meanwhile, a fourth-year medical student at Yangzhou University remarked that they don't have any recognition of whether Indian government will accept them. Furthermore, students demanded authorization to get certificates to deem their education as valid. Punjab's new cabinet, led by the Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, took his first decision on Saturday. Punjab cabinet approves notification of undertaking recruitments of 25,000 government jobs in the state. Notably, 10,000 jobs will be for various positions in the Punjab Police, while the remaining will be in other government departments, boards and corporations of the state government. Mann, after the cabinet meeting, said the post will be filled purely on merit basis as per degrees with no partiality, influence or bribes. Mann further added that the Aam Aadmi Party has promised to check unemployment and stop migration of the youths by creating jobs. 4 persons have been arrested in connection with the murder of international kabaddi player Sandeep Singh, who was shot dead in Jalandhar on March 14. The Punjab police has registered cases against 3 foreign nationals who are believed to be the key conspirators in the case. In less than a week after international kabaddi player Sandeep Singh alias Sandeep Nangal Ambiya was killed, Punjab police has solved the murder case with the arrest of 4 accused involved in conspiring crime. Punjab police in a Twitter post said that the 3 foreign-based persons identified as main conspirators were also booked. Ministry of Commerce and Industry said that India is in final talks to start wheat export to Egypt, while on the other side, discussions are still going on with the countries like Turkey, China, Bosnia, Sudan, Nigeria, Iran and others to start wheat export. Earlier on Thursday, the Agricultural and Proposed Processed Food Products Export Development Authority organized a meeting of key stakeholders in a value chain for promoting exports to those countries which have a huge shipment potential. The meeting witnessed the participation of key stakeholders such as traders, exporters, port officials, policy influencers from the Ministries of Food and Consumer Affairs, railways and officials from various state governments. And according to the data by the Directorate General of the Commercial Intelligence and Statistics, the top 10 importing countries for Indian wheat in 2020 to 2021 were Bangladesh, Nepal, United Arab Emirates, Sri Lanka, Yemen, Afghanistan, Qatar, Indonesia, Oman and Malaysia. The top 10 countries accounted for more than 99% share in India's wheat exports in 2020 to 2021 in both volume and value terms. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett expressed delight over his first scheduled official visit to India on April 2 this year at the invitation of his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. An Israeli government press release informed on Saturday that PM Bennett stated that Prime Minister Modi and him will continue leading the way for the relations of the two countries. He also stated that the purpose of the visit is to advance and strengthen the strategic alliance between the countries and to expand the bilateral ties. In addition, the leaders will discuss the strengthening of cooperation in a variety of areas, including innovation, economy, research and development, agricultural, and more. Israeli Prime Minister will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other senior government officials, as well as visit the Jewish community in the country. World Championship bronze medalist Lakshya Sen showed nerves of steel as he stunned defending champion Li Zia of Malaysia to book a maiden final berth in the All England Open Badminton Championships. The 20-year-old Sen became only the 4th Indian men's single player after Prakash Nath, Prakash Padukone and Pullela Gopichand to reach the final after outwitting Lee 21-13, 12-21, 21-19 in a grueling semi-final match that lasted 1 hour and 16 minutes. Women's doubles pair of P. Gayatri Gopichand and Trisa Jolie crashed out of the ongoing All England Open Championship after losing in the semi-final clash on Saturday. Here at Utilita Arena, Birmingham, and playing at the court 6, the Indian duo got defeated by China's Zhang Shuxian and Zheng Yu in the straight games 21-17, 21-16 in a match that lasted for 51 minutes. With this defeat, Gopi Chand and Jolly have been eliminated from the tournament. The three-time BNP Paribas Open champion Rafael Nadal reached his fifth final in the California desert with a thrilling 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 victory over his fellow Spaniard after a grueling 3 hours and 12 minutes in heavy winds. The legendary lefty will face American Taylor Fritz for the trophy. Nadal is off to a personal best 20-0 start to the season with titles at Melbourne ATP 250, the Australian Open and Acapulco. If the fourth seed defeats Fritz on Sunday, he will tie Novak Djokovic for the most ATP Masters 1000 titles in history with 37. The Asia Cup will be held in Sri Lanka from August 27 to September 11 in the T20 format, and the qualifiers will start from August 20. There will be 6 teams in the Asia Cup 2022, which includes India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and a qualifier. India will be playing Pakistan for the first time after T20 2021 ICC World Cup. The qualifier match will be played between UAE, Kuwait, Singapore and Hong Kong. The 2020 edition of the tournament was cancelled due to COVID-19 and its restrictions. During the AGM, it was unanimously decided that Jay Shah, the BCCI secretary, will continue as the Asian Cricket Council's president for 1 more year till 2024. Pankaj Kimji of Oman Cricket Board was appointed the Vice President of ACC, and Mahinda Valipuram of Malaysia Cricket Association was named the Chairman of the Developing Committee. Sri Lanka were supposed to host the 2020 edition, but COVID-19 pushed the event to 2021 before finally being moved to 2022. Pakistan, who were originally supposed to host the 2022 Asia Cup, now have hosting rights for 2023. Australia is allocating an additional $15.5 million in military aid to Kyiv and will also provide Ukraine with $22 million in emergency humanitarian assistance. Following the discussions between the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and the Minister for Defence Peter Dutton and their Ukrainian counterparts stated that it is clear that Ukraine's need for military assistance remains urgent and ongoing. In response, Defense has developed an additional $21 million about $15.5 support package of defensive military assistance for the Ukrainian armed forces, which will bring Australia's total military assistance so far to $91 million. According to the release, the military aid will include additional material from Australian Defence Force stocks, and the Australia is also providing Kyiv with the additional humanitarian aid. Chelsea produced a professional performance at the Riverside Stadium to secure a 2-0 win and end Middlesbrough's impressive FA Cup run at the quarter-final stage. Chelsea continued to make light of its off-pitch turmoil with another impressive display on it as it reached the FA Cup semi-finals with a 2-0 victory at the Middlesbrough on Saturday. First half goals by Romelu Lukaku and Hakim Ziyech knocked the stuffing out of second-tier Middlesbrough, who had eliminated Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur in previous rounds. Lukaku tapped in Mason Mount's low cross after 15 minutes before Ziyech fired home 16 minutes later. Middlesbrough was given raucous support inside the Riverside Stadium, but only a few hundred Chelsea fans were inside the stadium, a consequence of restrictions on them selling tickets. Chelsea reached the semis of FA Cup for the 5th time in 6 seasons. Leeds United produced 3 goals in the last half hour to come back from 2 goals down to beat 10 Manchester Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-2 at Molineux in the Premier League. The visitors lost Patrick Bamford, Diego Llorente and Matthews Cleese to injuries in the first half. Wolves were also forced to replace Ruben Neves with Tuensang, who created the opening goal on 26 minutes when he found Johnny to sweep in. Wolves took a 2-0 lead into half-time with the substitute Tuensang assisting Johnny, hitting the post and then doubling the lead on the stroke of half-time. The comeback began on 63 minutes when Jack Harrison scored on the rebound after Luke Ayling had hit the post. Leeds United then through Rodrigo qualified 3 minutes later. Ayling proved to be the dramatic winner, smashing in a high shot in stoppage time to earn Leeds back-to-back wins. Bukayo Saka scored the only goal of the game to guide Arsenal to a 1-0 victory over Aston Villa in their Premier League clash at Villa Park. Saka found the net with a powerful 20-yard strike in the first half, and his effort puts Gunners to get back to claim for a Champions League place. Thank you, viewers. That's all from Nltv News Now. For more updates, keep watching Nagaland TV. Sop Manulaga Awas.
Nagaland TV, Sop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers, we are on channel number 10 in Global Chapter, and for Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on